What's up, everybody? So I'm making another guide, and this week is going to be covering Hungary. Now, Hungary starts the game off pretty consistently every single time, and the reason why is there aren't a whole lot of people that are nearby that will really want to rival you at the game start. The usual ones are going to be the Ottomans, Poland, Lithuania, Bohemia, the Teutonic Order, or Venice, and then usually after the game starts, you might have Serbia, but that's about it. Meaning that as long as you can plan around those people hating you, it's generally going to be fairly consistent. And on top of that, Austria starts off with a historical friendship with you, meaning they want to ally. They won't rival you at the game start. And what is really going to determine whether or not you're going to have an easier bit of time or a more difficult bit of time is whether Burgundy rivals Austria. While you can still pick up Burgundy pretty much no matter what, it does make it slightly more awkward to actually keep them around if they rival Austria. But in this game, they didn't, so I won't have that problem. With that being said, let's first show off the estates and privileges. It's pretty much what you guys would expect from me. I have the Orthodox autonomy. Otherwise, everything else is what is in here that I would normally find with what I do. I do have to grant more clergy loyalty, simply because the Orthodox autonomy drops it by 10. But other than that, this is what I do. You guys have seen it before, monarch point generators, and everything else is the same. I will point out that if you want to pick up Burgundy at the game start, you're going to need religious diplomats, or you will need to have a diplomatic reputation advisor. Obviously, religious diplomats is generally going to be your better option. With that being said, let's get started with the military. Your military setup is pretty straightforward. You're going to take each army, you're going to hire one infantry. That's it, just one infantry. And then you're going to hire the free company. This will get you close to your force limit, and that will also get you to the ability to finish this mission fairly quickly. You're not going to finish it immediately, but it allows you to finish it pretty much immediately. And with that, your military setup is done. You're simply going to let them recruit, and then once that is done, you will move them down here to the southern border. That's it. With that being done, let's turn to diplomacy. As I stated before, your starting rivals are going to be fairly consistent, but obviously you want to pick up Burgundy before you do anything else. And they do not want to either be royal married to you or allied to you at the game start. All you need to do is simply find somebody you don't care if they hate you and scornfully insult them. With that, you'll be able to pick up their alliance. That's it. That's all you need to do. And then with the other diplomat, just royal marry Austria. They will eventually ally you, but that allows you to at least tie up a slot, and you won't have any difficulties at all. Now that that's done, wait for your guys to come back. And now I'm going to pick up an alliance with Brandenburg, and then what I usually will do is see if I can pick up Aragon. Sometimes they will hate Burgundy. In this game, they don't, which means I can just royal marry them and get an alliance in a couple of months. And as you can see, I am going to be slightly over my force limit, or over my diplo relations limit. The reason why is I will be picking up another vassal, because I start off with Croatia, and that will let me take strong duchies and free it up. So, right now, I am more than happy to be slightly over, just because I will eventually get to that point. Now, at this juncture, I actually have to sit back and wait. I can't declare Wallachia, despite the fact that this will give me claims, because I am in a interregnum. I can't declare war. I have to wait until I have somebody that will allow me to declare war. So I don't want to take this mission, and the reason why is the Ottomans have rivaled me. By having the Ottomans rival me, they will see anybody I get a claim on, and they will throw a guarantee at them immediately. So I don't want the Ottomans thinking I want to attack Wallachia, because if they do, they're going to intervene and stop me from doing so. Instead, I'm just going to simply throw a spy network onto both Bosnia and Serbia, as that will allow me to get claims on them, and I will get the alliances and royal marriage with Burgundy that I'm going to be needing. With that being said, I'm going to have to pause the recording because this can take a little bit. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. So I am ready to go after Serbia, but before I do, I wanted to point out that by not taking that mission ahead of time, you do reduce the chance of the Ottomans guaranteeing Wallachia, because sometimes I see them guaranteeing Serbia or Bosnia trying to stop you from attacking anybody, but they will still usually guarantee Wallachia, and that's exactly what they did in this case. So I'm going to go ahead and attack Serbia, and I'm going to co-belligerate Bosnia. And what I'm going to do is I'm moving these two stacks directly onto what I want them to siege, but I'm having this guy do a run around because he has Janos. This guy is an amazing general, but by using him, he can run to the back here and generally stack wipe the Serbian and Bosnian armies. By doing so, I don't have any threat, and I can just take this army, shatter it, and then just carpet siege everything. By doing so, it can make it a very, very, very quick war, where I really don't have any risk of losing units. So I'm going to be doing that, trying to siege them out as quickly as possible so I can take all of this land myself. I will see you guys in a little bit, because I just basically have to wait for forts to fall, and anybody that's seen me play before without, like, cuts, they tend to take a long time for me for some reason. So I'll see you guys later. And welcome back, everybody. So this war is now over, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be full annexing Bosnia. I will be releasing them as a vassal. However, for now, I do want to just annex them so that they don't have the bad opinion of me for forced vassalizing them. Now, Albania did attack Serbia, and while I would love to vassalize them just so I can come down here and punish Albania for doing so, can't really afford to. I will get Albania as a vassal later, but for now, I just want to take Serbia out of the picture and get this war over with. And nobody cares that I've done so. By doing this, I now have a much stronger base because I now have a second gold mine. And do be sure to continue to dev up this gold mine up here while you are in these fights. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and release Bosnia. And then I can take the strong duchies in here. Make sure you do this because there are so many times I'll just flat out forget to do it. And now I can go ahead and attack Herzegovina. Now they are allied to Wallachia, but I can't co-belligerate them. So instead what I'm going to be doing is I'm taking these provinces, which will leave Târgoviște right here, where no one else can get to it, and I can just come in later and snipe it, and then finish that mission, and continue down, because I've already be able to control Wallachia, then Serbia, and then Bosnia, for the most part. For now, though, I just need to get my troops back up here, get my diplomats back, and I can declare on Wallachia, and then move on Herzegovina, and then go through Wallachia, because Croatia can handle Herzegovina for the most part on their own. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Oh, and yeah, just got to core everything up. So, see you guys soon. Hey everybody, so I just unpaused and this popped up. So I wanted to point out that I got Moldavia here as a free vassal, which makes it easier to go through this, but it's absolutely not required. Basically, in order for you to go through the mission tree down here and get Poland as a personal union, you must own Moldavia first. The thing is that Austria will join that fight, and so will Muscovy, and that is why I'm improving relations with Muscovy right now, to get them as an ally as well. Simply because with Muscovy as an ally and then Austria as an ally, I can absolutely get Moldavia out of Polish hands, and then on top of that, force a personal union on them and Lithuania, getting both of them. In this case, since I already have Moldavia for free, that's great, but it's not required. So I just wanted to point out that while I got this for free, you don't have to keep restarting, because this is like a 20% chance or something, and knowing odds, it might say a 1 in 5, but we all know that's going to take like 30 restarts, and most of us don't have that kind of time. So don't feel the need like you have to. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and, before I do this, let me make sure because I realized I forgot to do that earlier. Now that I have that alliance, let's go ahead and declare on Herzegovina, because Bosnia will have 2 cores on them, and I could just move in here, and their army should be on this fort, and they will run away, and I can move this guy to siege out Târgoviște, allowing me to get everything done. So with that being said, interesting. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out what this is and deal with this, and see you guys in a second. And welcome back. So this war is over. As I said before, I'm taking these 4 provinces and as much money as I can get away with. And there we go. And then over here, I'm going to just be granting all of this back to Bosnia. Now, apparently right before either right before or right after, I'd have to go back and look at the recording, Castile declared on Aragon because they didn't have an heir. So I would have to go over there and help them fight, but I really don't want to. So I'm going to see if Aragon survives, and if they don't, I just find somebody else to be an ally. In either case, what I'm doing here with Aragon is not necessarily a person that's going to help me fight anybody, but it prevents people from attacking me. Hence why, if they're in the middle of this, might not be useful. However, Muscovy absolutely will be, for the most part. Muscovy is kind of fickle. Sometimes they'll help, sometimes they won't. So if you feel the need to, and I'll explain why later, you can pick up other people instead. With that being said, I'm going to have to take some time, core stuff up. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. So I just wanted to give you a brief update about what I'm doing. So Aragon's finally pieced out of their war. They were able to get a white peace out of them somehow, despite the fact that they were just about to take his capital and enforce a personal union. So very nice work, Aragon. But Albania, I was able to simply diplo-vassalize. Once you've taken Serbia, you're bordering them and they're willing to take a vassalization. They're not going to fight it. The thing is that you have to be careful about how you get them as a vassal. What I mean is that if you ally them and then you work on improving relations and all that, the Ottomans might attack them and you're going to be you defending Albania with any allies they have, and usually a Venice that guaranteed them that might not actually defend them. So make sure you roll merry or improve relations, send gifts, and all of that before you end up sending the alliance and immediately vassalize them after that. The reason why is because these are cores. The Ottomans are very likely to attack them, not caring if they're fighting you too. In fact, they might still declare on me now since I have Albania. So be aware, once you do this, they may attack you, ignoring anybody that might come to your defense. So now that that's done, I still need to move on a little bit more because I need favors with Austria to get them to come down and help me fight the Ottomans. So I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. So now's the time for me to decide whether or not I'm going to be a vassal of somebody or I'm going to tell them to shove it. And yeah, I'm not going to be a vassal, and I don't recommend you decide to be one either. When you click this option, it will give Austria a CB against you to enforce that personal union, so you want to have him in a war with you. You want to declare on the Ottomans at this point. The reason why is he'll stay in the war. He won't break the alliance until this war is concluded. So use this time to keep him involved, and then after the war he will break, and this CB only lasts for 10 years. So it'll reduce the amount of time he could attack you, even if he wants to attack you. On top of that, you will have everybody else, in this case, Aragon will have a chance to actually recover, which will help dissuade him from attacking me. So I actually have to focus on this fight because this isn't one where I can just zone out and my allies will take care of it. This is actually going to have to be something I pay attention to. So I will see you guys in a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So this was a pretty quick and easy war. You can tell that by the amount of loans I had to take and the fact that I have a bunch of mercenaries. But to be quite honest, yes, this is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight between you and the Ottomans. Because once you break them once, it gets really hard for them to come back from this. Now, I will say that if you don't feel comfortable doing this, where you have this big war at this point, you can sit back and let the Muscovites, Aragonese, etc. keep people from attacking you, make it to, in this case, I think mine is, 1465. Once the war goal expires, about a year later, the Austrians will re-ally you, and you can go after them at that time when they're involved in some war over here against the Mamluks. And it is significantly easier. The reason why I'm not choosing to do that is because, again, the Ottomans have cores on Albania. Those cores make them so likely to attack you, it is not wise to hope that they're not going to when the Austrians aren't willing to help you out. So, if you are going to sit back and wait, let the Albanians fall. Let them go. You'll be able to get them back later and feed them back their land when you go after the Ottomans in the future, but do not vassalize them ahead of time. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and piece this out. I'm taking 25 war score worth of ducats, war reparations, and these 4 provinces. Reason why is Bulgaria, Byzantium, and that'll let me move forward and pay off all these loans. So, nice things can happen. So let's go ahead and Bulgaria first, then Byzantium, And now that I have them back in the field, yes, they are going to be disloyal. They will be fine in the future, but for now, I need to get some people off the map. So I'll be integrating the Bosnians, and then from there, I'm going to also... Never mind, he allied France. That's a new thing. I really haven't seen them do that before. Either way, I'm going to be continuing to reconsolidate because I am depleted after that war. So I'm going to go ahead and build up my empire again, and I'll bring you guys back in just a minute. And it's time to give away another CD key, and this week it's going to be for Jurassic World Evolution number 2. If you want a copy of this game, leave a comment below, including somewhere in the comment the word Jurassic. And at the end of the week, I'll go through all the comments, and anybody that included the word Jurassic in their comment, I'll pick one of those comments at random and reply to it with the CD key. But obviously, anybody can see my comments, so make sure you turn on your notifications, because if somebody else sees it first before you do, it's going to be their game. With that being said, let's get back to the guide. And welcome back, everybody. So as you can see, it's 1466, and I have the Austrians as an ally once again. Again, it takes about a year or two for them to reset their AI to go, oh yeah, I don't have the CB anymore, I can't be domineering towards you anymore. And I'm using them to now attack the Venetians. You see, I need these provinces here along the coast for my mission tree, so I need to go after them at some point, and they just declared war on the Ottomans. So while they're depleting each other, I'll run in with the Austrians, because you don't lose your favors if you make it so they don't have a whole lot of time being broken from you. And I'm going to be using them to go after the Venetians and get this land from them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. So as you can see, I took the coast here at least as much as I could, because the Ottomans got the occupation of this province. But my truce is now up with them, so it's time to go right back in. And as you can see, it is getting a little bit more into my favor. Though they did ally Tunis, and Tunis is always just truly fun to deal with, because you have no navy. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and set Toklu here as the Wargle, because it is a place that they're not really going to be able to get to and defend that easily. And I'm going to go ahead and take them on. Now, after this war is done, it's time to shift gears, and we'll be looking at another target to remove them from the map permanently. So let's go ahead and focus on this, and then we'll talk some more. See you then. And welcome back, everybody. I have to re-record this section because my dog started barking. Now, at the end of that war, which is a lot easier than the first time around because they generally don't have the ability to recover fast enough, take all of Bulgaria, take all of Albania, and anything that you can with Byzantium, but make sure you take plenty of money. At the end of the day, you're going to need that money to go after your next big target, which is Poland. You see, Poland, as I said before, you have to take out Moldavia first in order to get to weaken Poland. Once you have weakened Poland done, it gives you a restoration of Union CB, and you're going to want the extra mercenaries if necessary, just to make sure you're not going to have any problems. In this case, I have nobody really willing to jump in at this point, but Poland isn't going anywhere. It's not like I'm going to somehow lose this CB. So I'm going to simply wait until I have other people willing to jump in, and it looks like part of the reason why is everybody's getting beat up. It looks like Burgundy is currently in a war, so I'll get them out of that war in a minute, and then I'll be able to use them. So I have to wait for my allies to get done with whatever they're doing. I'll then bring you guys back and show you me declaring war. See you soon. I'll give you 3 guesses what happened right after I unpaused it. So yeah, of course I'm going to tell Austria he can shove it. Now, what am I actually going to take out of this? Probably very little. I simply want to make certain that I don't have to have Austria fighting me when I fight Poland. So I want to end this as quickly as possible so I can turn back around and actually go after Poland. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So if you want to take this as an opportunity to smack Austria, you can. But at the end of the day, it's not really necessary. And though I will say, you do have to do so eventually to get a claim on Austria itself. You will eventually have to stab them in the back and reduce them to less than 13 provinces. So if you want to take the time now to say release Tyrol so they're smaller, you can do that now. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this up quickly and get ready to attack Poland. See you soon. Welcome back, everybody. It's time to go after Poland. I finally have Austria recuperated and willing to come back in and take on Poland. Now, I couldn't get Muscovy willing to do so because they're in massive amounts of debt, so I guess they're just going to stay out of this. But as you can see, it's 2-1. I really shouldn't have a problem. Now, I am going to just go ahead and get this started because it's going to take me time, but I wanted to talk about this in advance. If you know you're about to declare on somebody and you're trying to get a personal union established, go ahead and improve relations with them in advance. As you can see here, I've already done it by 100 opinion. There's no reason not to. You're not hurting yourself by doing so in advance. Because if you do enforce it on him and he is -10 and your ruler dies, you're suddenly having to fight this entire war all over again and take the aggressive expansion all over again, and you had the opportunity to avoid it. So take that time when you're waiting for your allies or any other time to improve relations in advance. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take care of this. It really isn't that hard of a fight when you have Austria on your side, and this kind of makes it pretty pointless for me to even show you. So I'm going to go ahead and just let this go, and I will see you guys when it's done. And welcome back, everybody. Again, it doesn't really take a whole lot to beat Poland as long as you have Austria, who is the emperor, on your side. I'm going to get the personal union off, and I'm taking as much money as I can, and yeah, that's that. That is now 2 personal unions done. Now, obviously, I do need to get their opinion up. Lithuania, because I improved ahead of time. Don't need to worry about them. I just need to worry about Poland, and that really shouldn't take much. It only dropped by 15 during that war, so who cares? And as you can see, I am at war with Moscow now, simply because they attacked Lithuania separately from my wars. So now I'm going to come up here and punish them. I'm going to take any cores that Lithuania may have. Usually they have 1 or 2 up here. And then take Novgorod, because that'll stop them from ever forming Russia, permanently sticking them to remain as Muscovy. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on top of them and pummel them really, really severely. I'll see you guys in just a second because I need to take care of this before I can move on. See you then. And welcome back, everybody. So yeah, Muscovy's done. They really didn't have a chance in this. As I said before, taking Novgorod, taking 1 province to get to Novgorod, and all the money I could possibly get out of them. And we find war reps. So, piece this out, immediately release Novgorod, because I don't want to take increased corruption or anything else dealing with that. And it's time to go back after the Ottomans. As you can see here, the Mamluks are slowly pushing up. So I want to get in there, take the rest of Byzantine's cores, and take some land of theirs in the Anatolian area. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to call these guys in, and yeah, it's another war that I don't have to pay attention to because, again, when it's this much of a disparate side, yeah, there's no reason for you to use your own troops. Let Austria and Castile go and send their own. With that being said, I'm going to let this play out while I get ready for Bohemia, and part of the reason why I am dragging Austria in and having them do all of it is not necessarily because I don't want to use my own troops, it's because I want to delay them as long as possible. They get a restoration union on Bohemia. They have to enforce it, though. The thing is that you have to be paying attention and just look over here and see, because sometimes it's early, sometimes it's in the Age of Reformation that they'll get this thing. Whenever you see that they have it, try and keep them at war doing something else. As long as they are distracted, they won't actually use it, allowing you to just delay until you can get your own ready and pull on Bohemia. So just use Austria to keep punching other people for now. Once they are done with the Ottomans, I fully intend on going immediately after the Mamluks and using the Austrians to do that too. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. I'll see you guys soon. Welcome back, everybody. So now that Austria has finally lost their personal union CB on Bohemia, I have declared on them, and I'm going to try and get my own personal union on them. In order to get through the mission tree enough to get that CB, you have to have 5 total provinces in the Silesia area, the Lusatia area, and the Moravia area. Doesn't matter what 5 provinces, just 5 provinces in general. So if you want to make all of Silesia the issue, go right on ahead. If you want to split Moravia and Silesia, it doesn't matter how you do it, so long as you get at least 5. So now that Austria is not a problem, time to go in. And I will say that during all of that, to help prevent Austria from declaring, I mainly had declared on France, and then I'd rotate generally to the Ottomans or the Mamluks. In the last war, French I was fighting, and then the Mamluks enforced peace. So we were fighting both, which was fun. Either way, it's time to focus down Bohemia, so I will take care of that, and I'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody. So as you can see, the war is over. I did take these 5 provinces because I don't have a whole lot of aggressive expansion in Europe. So this is not causing any kind of a coalition. The only person that would join was Bohemia. So if you are having any difficulty, you might have to just take 2 provinces here, release Moravia, release Opole, and then reconquer their land, because then you're not taking nearly the aggressive expansion as you would be. If Austria, for whatever reason, is not rivaled to Bohemia, you're going to have to fight him too. There's just no way around it. Because if Austria is willing to defend, in order for you to get Bohemia, you're going to have to fight Austria. So, now that that's said, let's talk about down here. As you can see, they're back! Because I'm going to be using them to reconquer their cores. They just have way too many for me not to take advantage of this. So I would recommend doing the same, but it is entirely up to you because they, again, have a lot they can reconquer. I am going to have to wait a bit before I can go after the Mamluks, but that should be relatively soon. I can go after these guys over here. In fact, I might, just to mess with Muscovy, because they're guaranteeing these guys down here. So, yeah, I'm probably going to do this while I'm waiting for my truce with Bohemia. So I'm going to do this. I will see you guys in a little bit. And welcome back. So it's time to go after Bohemia, so I'm going to complete the mission. And as you can see up here, I have been improving relations, because, again, I don't want to lose it just because my ruler dies right after the war is over. So now that it's pretty much capped out, time to declare. Brandenburg can come in and help too, why not? And I'm going to move these guys. I have 2 new stacks down here up to finish the job. Once they're part of the empire, we will have, well, pretty much from here all the way up to the North Sea. And we'll be looking at Anatolia moving forward. Basically, at this point, you're pretty much caught up with everything you're going to need. The only thing after this point is dealing with Austria, and that's just breaking the alliance, taking Tyrol, taking Styria, and then personal unioning the rest. It's really not a whole lot. Honestly, this mission isn't very good because you have to make them so small that they're not really worth the personal union anymore, but that's how they decided to make it. In either case, give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and fight this war. And welcome back, everybody. So Bohemia is now a personal union. The problem is that because they are a Protestant country, their opinion is in the toilet with me. That and the aggressive expansion because I have attacked them. And you're going to have to deal with that. And the only thing I can really advise is that you have an improved relations advisor. You take the improved relations out of the papacy just to make sure it burns down as quickly as possible. Because as you look up here, even if I did convert him, I still can't get him loyal. I can't get the opinion positive just on improved relations alone. So it has to burn down. And the only way it's going to burn down is having higher improved relations. So make sure you have that prepared. Now, once you get him as a personal union, finish this mission as soon as you can. The reason why is that this will give you an event that allows you to join the Empire, or just get some monarch points and definitely join the Empire. Everyone's basically going to vote for you to do it, especially if you're allied with Austria, and it will make it so you take the electorship from Bohemia, and if you read this thing, Bohemia is going to hate Austria, not you. If you do it in any other way, they're going to hate you. So make him hate Austria. Why not? It doesn't hurt you in any way. And then you're going to be in the empire. You're going to be an elector. That means you can go and become the emperor if you want. You can do basically whatever you want, including start attacking the other electors so you can vassalize them and force them to vote for you so that you can guarantee that you're going to be in the empire. Or, to make it easier for you to dissolve it, so you can expand in the empire without any risk. And as you can see here, since you're able to block off the west over here, and you control everything in the east, not just with the HRE, but just you are the East entirely, this can become a easy place to expand because nobody can realistically fight against you at this point. That is pretty much the guide for Hungary, at least what I'm going to show. There's a couple of other things that I want to talk about. However, this guide is kind of long enough, and I don't want to just keep playing and extending it and dragging it out. So let's just talk about it so we can wrap it up. First things first, there is a personal union CB in your mission tree for Naples. The reason why I didn't really want to talk about it is because usually it's going to be falling under Spain. In almost every single game, Castile is going to get their personal union CB first, and they're going to use it, and Naples is going to be enforced into a personal union with Castile. It's just kind of how it rolls. If you have the opportunity to use it, fantastic. Usually it's going to be because they allied somebody like France or Austria, so they're protected from Spain. If that's the case, great, hold on to it. Once you're ready to declare, actually click the button and declare it that month. Don't click it in advance. That's kind of the big thing. Now, if you do have Spain as an ally and you're actually able to get a personal union on Naples, you should have tons of favors because you're not really using them for much of anything other than the occasional war against France. Because of that, you'll have tons to get the Nepalese cores in Sicily and Malta off of them, which means you're able to get just free land. And you might as well take that. Now, France, they're a good person to just keep punching because they will be mad at Spain, Austria, you, and then all of your friends, and England's not going to help them either. Meaning they generally won't have any real friends allowing you to outnumber them. In this case, I think it's like 4 or 5 to 1. So you can just keep repetitively punching them either to get subjects out that you can give cores to, or just to conquer land straight up, depending on what points you have available at the time. So have fun just punching France. Eventually, Spain is going to decide that they want to take you on, whether that's because you're the only person that is strong enough for them to rival, or just because they want to. It doesn't really matter. They will eventually rival you. If that's the case, when you can, make sure you grab some of these Aragonese cores, because feeding all of this land back to Aragon really breaks Spain. Like, it really destroys them. So if you have the opportunity to, do that. Now, the only person you really have to worry about is the Mamluks. Because they don't have the Ottomans to challenge them early on, in my game, I was able to fight them before they even got to the point of their first war with the Mamluks. They just kind of go on a roll. And without anybody to stop them, the Mamluks can be very dangerous because their government reform allows a lot of army tradition. So they have really high morale, great generals, and they can punch really, really hard. But their tech is going to fall behind because you are a European tech and they are not. So eventually they will drop off, but in my game, as you can see here, they are probably the biggest threat I'm going to have. Bigger than I can handle? No, not at all. But definitely stronger and more difficult than France. So you may want to allow the Ottomans to attack them no matter what, but in my game, given my circumstances, notably I was about to have Austria break with me, I'm not going to do that. So be aware that if you go after the Ottomans early, you might have a more difficult Mamluks in the future, unless you intentionally go out of your way to mess with them. And then you have Muscovy, who's not really going to be a threat because they can't form Russia. And that allows you to become Byzantium, it allows you to become Russia, it allows you to become Italy if you want. You can do really whatever you want with this run, because Hungary is relatively short in their mission tree. It's very powerful, but short, allowing you to, once you get down here and you finish off your mission tree, you can just flip to whatever you want. That is the advantage of Hungary. There's nothing that's going to require you to play into the age of revolutions to get, or the age of absolutism, or really to the age of Reformation towards the end, because you should be long done with it before then. So you are able to flip to whatever else you want. But that basically covers everything. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I am absolutely going to be making more guides, but thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful week.